My name is Przemysław Malczewski. I represent Institute for Territorial Development, one of 11 partners from Healing Places project. We are partner number 2, and we are responsible for this webinar, which will present for all of you our results related with tools during the long project and the long way of preparation of the results. All partners prepared 3 different tools. The general idea was creating the tools based on data, so related with evidence-based policy, which should support the management for sustainable way of development, the resource and SPA municipalities in general. Of course, we were focused on our pilot SPAs, and we will try today in 90 minutes to present you the results. But first of all, we will start with the presentation prepared by Małgorzata Markowska from General Institute of Mining. I hope it's correct. No, it's not correct in English. Sorry, from GEEK, it will be easier. Our lead partner, and Małgorzata, we will present you correctly the name of the institution and start from the general information about our project. Małgorzata, I have your presentation, so I can change the slides. If you will just say me next, I will put the next slide. I think it will be okay for you. Yes.
Yes, good morning once again to everybody. Thank you, Przemek. Yes, I think the option of switching slides will be the easiest way than sharing the screen, etc., etc. My name is Małgorzata. Yes.
Just tell me if you see the slides and it changed. Yes?
I can see this the first slide of my presentation. Yes.
Okay.
So hopefully everybody else can see
so.
the same.
Yeah, the floor is
yes. Thank you. My name is Małgorzata Markowska, and I'm representing Central Mining Institute from Katowice, from Poland. So in Polish, Główny Instytut Górnictwa, who is the lead partner of Healing Places project, and therefore I have a pleasure to present you shortly the main information about the project within which we are meeting today. And starting from the first slide, yes, thank you. Why the topic? Why healing places? Why the aspect of mineral waters? The natural deposits of mineral waters and hot springs are very well known in Central Europe, and they are a very important driver for local and regional economies in many countries, especially in healthcare, in wellness and tourism sectors. On the other hand, their vulnerability to threats and pressures from the land cover, economic and urban development, as well as mass tourism, is a more and more important fact to be taken into consideration to ensure that these very important resources are well cared for. Therefore, the Healing Places project, which the title is that we are hoping for enhancing environmental management capacities for sustainable use of natural heritage of Central European spa towns and regions as a driver for their local and regional development. So main aim is to help spa resorts to reach balance between territorial development based on mineral and thermal water and the protection of these unique resources. The project itself is being implemented under the Interreg Central Europe program, and on the right side of my slide, you can see short information about the program itself. Who is maybe interested in more information about also other projects dealing with the natural resources protection, cultural and environmental heritage of Central Europe as well. But coming back to our project, we are working in the partnership of local and regional authorities. If I may have a next slide. Yeah, thank you. From 10, they are 10 main countries. Not countries, sorry, 10 main partners from 7 countries, from Poland, Austria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Hungary, and Italy. And additionally, we cooperate with 5 associated partners, as well as many other stakeholders who are involved in the project during this implementation. And we started working together in April 2019, and we are now just finalizing project works, and we would like to share with you with the results. Next slide. Thank you. The project logic. The HealingPlaces activities were grouped around 3 main aspects. The first one was dedicated to environmental mapping and assessment, and it covered the state art of analysis, assessment, and tools. And this is what we will be talking mostly about today. The second main theme covered 3 regional pilot actions. From going from the concept to specific implementation in regions. And the third one, management strategy and guidance, so strategic approach based on the results of earlier works. If I may have a next slide, please. Thank you. The environmental mapping and assessment, as I told, and also Przemek already mentioned, we will be talking today about 3 tools to assess the environmental impact and environmental potential of SPA, the web tool with the spatial database of mineral and thermal water resources, and the app for management of thermal water resources and environmental sustainability, which will be discussed in details by my colleagues in few moments. So I would like to go to next slide. Thank you. The regional experiences which differed, covering challenges in planning and management of spa areas, tourism, also the hydrogeology, environmental protection, sustainable mobility, or tourist destination management, as well as geothermal issues, can be the effects can be found on the project website, as well in short pilot actions videos from specific regions, which you can found on YouTube. And if somebody is interested, we are inviting you to see the regional videos. And the third aspect, next slide. And the third aspect was the development of the common strategy for sustainable spa based on regional experiences from 8 pilot actions, and as well as identified best practices in environmental and social economic pressures mitigation and conflict solvings. And also the strategy itself, as well as the developed handbook, will be available on the project website, as well as other information. Next slide, please. Thank you. And if you are interested in more detailed of our project, we would like to welcome you to follow us on the project website or other profiles on Facebook, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, or the YouTube channel. I think the more general information are available also there. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask on the chat, or if there are any questions at the end, also during the discussion part as well. or just contact us via email or other means. Thank you very much for this, and I think it was the last slide. Yeah.
Yes, it was the last slide. Thank you very much, Małgosia. As you see how huge project it was, how many partners we had. Now I will try to present you by myself the first tool. It's related with this tool, GIS-based tool, so we can say geoportal or interactive map, where we try to implement the different database collected during the project. I have to switch my screen. Yes, so as Institute for Territorial Development, we were we had the responsibility to prepare the geoportal, but I would like to show you also the way which we had to manage and solved different challenges to get the database. It was the crucial point of this activity, how to collect from such many partners and so many places the databases which could be harmonized and standardized in one general map. We start the project from the reports. We had to, at the beginning, recognize each other, recognize the specific topic as the goal of the project. So what's the situation and status of legal status of spa resorts? We had to recognize also the socio-economic situation of regions which are represented by our partners, and also by the places which were involved in different pilot actions in different countries. We also try to create the comparative analysis by socio-economic situation in municipalities in these regions. And we were very focused on the detailed information about the specific spa resorts which we had in our project. The first product was the joint report, where we collected the whole informations, but we also collected a lot of databases because of the crucial tool which we had to prepare, so GIS database about different topics. The second recognition, we can say, was the recognition of the most important environmental pressures and conflicts which are related with spa resort development, and also with our resource, health water resource. So our partners and whole partners prepared the report, the joint report about the biodiversity, soils, surface water and groundwater, air quality and macroclimate, cultural heritage and landscape and protected areas in different regions, and also municipalities and spa resorts. And the second very important report was the joint report about societal awareness regarding the trees of natural resources. So everything what is related with some trees according to, we can say, it's development and human activity in the area where the resources are. And we analyzed the demographic condition, the technologic condition, resources condition, economic and touristic, as the very crucial topic for the, especially for the spa resorts which are very popular places for tourism. So we start from collecting the basic data, and the first data which we had was, of course, the partnership of the project HealingPlaces. We publish it in interactive map. You can see it's open interactive geoportal. The link is in presentation. We implemented in interactive map to see how the project partners are located in Central Europe. As you see, we have a very good representative, we can say, spatial area for, especially for Central Europe Interreg. And the first database is our partners and specific institution which were involved in the project HealingPlaces. The second database was the springs. So the most important places for us as a places where the resources of the water are taken out, and we prepared the database with very concrete location. It's interactive map, so you can also zoom in to the places, exactly to the places where the springs are. There also had a lot of attributes which shows you the names of the springs and what country and what's the name of the concrete deposit, name. The second database, which is implemented in the geoportal, it's the related with the springs, the type of water which are in these springs, in these deposits, and we put three different attributes for this database: the curative waters, the mineral waters, and the thermal waters. You can see on the map also and recognize the information what type of water is in each of shown springs. The third one is the primary use of this water. We have the information which of the springs are using as spa treatments. It was also very good, we can say, results, besides results of this project, that we realized that there are so many different uses of water resources in different places, and we recognize three of them in this database. So spa treatments, therapeutics, use of water, and using as a pools. So it shows us also the different relation with the touristic activities in these places, and it also shows us how different activities can appear in different places which used the half water deposits. The fourth one was one of the hardest database to collect. It was the information about exploitation reserve database. So we had to get the information from each partners, from each springs. We can say how much water is exploited from the spring, and we had to make the comparative analysis of this, and we can see also on the map where are the places where this exploitation are the biggest and where it's not so big. It's also very important information to create some sustainable policy about the exploitation these reserves, especially when you have small deposits of this resource of water. The map will be also spread by another one database I hope in few next weeks. It will be threads. So we will also implement the database of different threads in this places around the springs which are shown on the map, and we choose the different threads, and we will try to show you to publish the information which of them are the most important for now. For these places, also as some kind of awareness if there is a good or bad situation or bad, we can say it, implementation of different policies which can be in conflict with using the water deposits. One of the main goal of these tools, all of these tools, were the user-friendly publication. So we prepared the tool which is available on the whole mobile devices in every which has the internet connection, so you can see the map and use this map, this geoportal on different mobile devices, and you can see also the whole databases and attributes, how it looks like in our project partners places and different results of this project. For being as much user-friendly as it's possible, we also prepared the user manual. It's available from the window of the map, from the legend window, legend view. It's YouTube film where you can see the whole possibilities and whole functionality of this geoportal, when you can find the information about different attributes, where you can find also information about the project, about the partners and the whole database which are collected and implemented to this geoportal. As a conclusion of this action, and we can say that this process of collecting the database, we have to say that the biggest challenge, and I think it's in each of our tools which are implemented in this project, was to collecting the databases. We also has such the results, and our recommendation from this project is also that we still in Europe has to prepared the standards for changing the databases. It's still not easy to collect the whole data in one standard. It's not easy to prepare the comparative analysis of different topics, especially when you are interested in a very local level, on the municipality level, so NUTS 5 level, when you want to just download and create the comparative analysis. It's in our topics which we were touching this project, it was impossible, and we had a lot of challenge and lots of work has been done to collect and prepare the standard of the whole database. But it's also very good result of this project that we can cooperate such effectively that we manage it, and I hope that that's one of the tools which can be used by the decision makers, or even for citizens or for tourists which who invited these places and can use it for get more information, but how these places are developed and what can they expect in these places. That was my last slide. Now, if someone has some questions, for now we have some time for questions. If not, we can leave it at the end of presentations. I don't hear. So we have another presentation from Central Mining Institute. Now I'm correctly. The third presentation will present Grzegorz Gzyl from this institute which I mentioned. It will be the methodology for the tool for sustainable management, and it's another of our products in this project. Grzegorz, I will change your slides if you are agree. I have your presentation, so I can. So, floor is yours.
Thank you. Can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me well. Thank you, Przemek, for changing the slides. Hello and good morning, everybody. I'm Grzegorz Gzyl from Central Mining Institute, and I'm going to give you some introduction to the methodology of the tool we have developed in the Institute, and further on my colleague Paweł Łabaj will provide you with more technical details how to follow on. So as for the general assumption and approach we have used with the tool, the purpose of the tool is to quantify somehow, quantify the impact that is connected with the development of SPA. So we all want to develop our SPAs, but we are aware that this is inevitably connected with with some adverse effects, especially if we are over the certain limits of the development. But how to quantify it? It's not so easy. We tried to make the tool that should be able to quantify this impact somehow. In general, we tried to search for, in general, the target users were the decision makers. So the tool is, of course, not something that automatically block any development decisions. This will never happen, but we wanted to raise the awareness of the decision makers and provide them with the tool that will help them to make the correct decisions as regards the sustainable development. So next slide, please. So as I said, just as the overall approach and the aim of the whole project is to assess and to help the spa communities, the spa regions to develop their spas in a sustainable way. So the same approach we have taken while developing our tool. And what was our main assumption was that we wanted to correlate the level of tourism development. So, I mean, in particular, the number of the new tourists that are coming with the spa development, with the level of the use of the environmental resources. Our focus were, of course, the mineral and thermal therapeutic water resources mainly, but also the environmental capacity in a certain ways. Next slide, please. Okay. So there are, I mean, so many aspects we have identified that we were sure that are important for to somehow assess while assessing the impact of the spa development on the environment in general, but we had to limit ourselves somehow, taking into account on one hand the availability of data. We wanted, our approach was to focus, to base our tool on the publicly available data that in order to reach maximum transferability from one region to another, so that even in the regions that were not taking part in the development and testing of a tool inside the project, it will be possible to apply the tool because the required information should be publicly available. So the next slide, please. In this slide, you can see that after the tool design and then evaluation and testing process, we have identified two groups of indicators. The first group are those indicators for which we are able actually to quantify not only the use of the resource that comes with every additional tourist that is coming to the given spa, but also we were able to find some limits, some clear limits for such developments. For example, for the mineral water quantity, this is the base, actually the base, the main and the only, maybe not the only, but the main resource on which all the spas are should be concerned about, because if we run out of the water, there's no more development is possible. So for this indicator, it's relatively easy, at least for Poland. There are some legal limits of the maximum uptake of mineral and thermal therapeutic water. As regards sewage, we also said that it's a clear limit for the sewage treatment plant, unlike for drinking water that you can buy from the neighboring commune, or even from neighboring country. If you can organize it, you can buy the drinking water. But with the sewage, it's not so straightforward, at least to increase the capacity of the system that is treating your sewage. But we've also have 3 indicators which are based on the environment capacity, like a general capacity of the municipality area, capacity of the legal protected areas, and something that is really quite typical for Poland and Czech Republic. Maybe that's so typical for the other countries that participated in the project, is the capacity of spa parks, like being and spending time in a spa park is one of the main activity for the spa tourists. And if there are too many of them in a spa park, we say it's overcrowded, and it's a clear indication of so-called over-tourism. So, I mean, I will not go into more details of that, because Pavel, which is speaking after I finish, will go into the details of how we calculate it and how we set the limits for these indicators, and I'll just tell you that our general approach was that we concentrate on this resource that we are going to run out first in our spa with the increasing number of tourists. But I will go into details on that. Next slide, please. I'll just give you only some few more words about how we have constructed and tested our tools, because we are actually quite proud of this process. This was extremely difficult because we've been doing this during the heavy COVID lockdown phases, but we have managed using the online meetings. We have managed actually to go several rounds with our partners, starting from the concept through the draft version to the final version of tool. And actually we have been this was like a co-creation process with our partners, yes, especially with the Slovenian partners and with the Czech partner, with Austrian as well. We also had some meetings with Croatians, and then we had several meetings with all partners in plenary, and we have been like testing and discussing the several following versions of the tool with the partners, trying to fill already the draft versions with their data to see whether this works for their cases, and there were many problems with data availability, and we had to do many compromises. But all this process of adaptive creation together with partners, I guess this was really something that deserves the Central European project, because otherwise we could do it ourselves and spread around, and that's it. But this process was really interactive, and we're really happy with the result. And my last slide, can you change? Just to illustrate to you that there were really many versions of this tool, from the draft version to the final version. And with this, I would like to hand over to my colleague Pavel, who will follow on with the was the details of how the tool functions and how it should be used by the users. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Grzegorz. Maybe someone has some questions for this presentation, please. And during the possibility, we will change the screen. Pavel, you can start, share your screen. It's available. We can see, we can hear you, so probably everything is okay. Floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Pavel. I will present you HealingPlaces 2 development. At first, according to Grzegorz said, there was 33 versions of the tool. This development, so quite a lot changes, and yeah, it the job for. So a few words about the tool. This what I present you, it's the Excel version of the tool, the basic version. At the end, I will tell you about the online version, but first I just show you what is inside this Excel tool version. At first, basic data, just a basic data about the spa that we've got here. And what is important, we can choose the country, one of the partners' country, for example, it's Poland, and the spa that got this in our tool. As you see, all the basic data are showed here about the case. It's on the the main part of the tool is main indicators. We've got 5 main indicators, and I will shortly tell you what is calculated here. So first, environmental touristic capacity of the is a simple equation of the sum of the current beds and daily tourists. So these 2 numbers here. And it is divided by simply municipality area. So here you can see the current level of use. Selected spa, it's now 2011, and the limit value set to 58. This limit value depends on the default index, which is in fact is the equation of number of beds and the number of inhabitants of the percent. So the more beds in the have, the higher is the limit value of this environmental touristic capacity. In that example for London, we've got current use of this capacity at level 3%. That let us receive about 4,000 additional tourists. So that means if we've got exactly 1,857 more tourists, the current level of use of this this indicator will be 1%. So that's how it works. It shows us how many additional tourists get selected. Next, next indicator, environmental capacity of spa parks. Grzegorz said it's not same in countries. fact, in Italy and in Austria, we have spa parks, so calculate this for the countries, but for the other countries there are spa parks, and this is simply calculated the current level of use, so persons per hectare, so per hectare of spa parks. The limit value is taken from the literature, and it's constant. It's 500. So here we have 90% current use capacity. It let us let in to the the third indicator of this main indicator is protected areas within municipality borders. It's also very simple. It's just the number of persons per kilometer, and it of course depends on the area of legal protected areas and the number of lists. Because if we have a very small area of protected areas and too many tourists, there is a danger that we may damage this protected. Here, as you see, only current use capacity of mineral water quality quantity. So the best the basic indicator for us. So how much we are using mineral waters. Here we've got 39% in long, and let us receive 1,000 additional tourists. The last one is a sewage quantity, because yes, it's relatively simple to get fresh drinking water, but it's so easy to treat the sewages, and all the treatment sewage plant has its own capacity. So here this limit value is taken from system capacity, and current level of use just calculated current level tourists and daily tourists, the inhabitants, and of course we can see the current use. It's 30% that receive additional tourists. This is very important limit of additional tourists. It's the smallest number from this additional tourists here that are taken from these 5 main indicators. So in this case, we've got 5 is the smallest number. So here is this number, this limit of additional tourists, and it makes this second indicator, so environmental capacity of parks, it makes it rise to 100%. So that's the first part, main indicators. Second part, indicators, and 4 of the indicators depends on tourist number, and it shows us only the current level of use, but it shows us predicted level of use when we assume this additional number of tourists. In that case, it's 5. Drinking water. So drinking water waste, energy, and the financial income. It let us predict, show us what the value of the level of these indicators when we receive this additional. The last two illustrative indicators are groundwater vulnerability and land impact. Groundwater vulnerability is it answers us the question: what is the water quality hazard mineral water? So, in other words, what is the probability that mineral waters may be contaminated by waters or other substances that are leaking from the surface? It takes into consideration things, type of source, and so on. And the last one, land cover impact index, shows us the potential impact of the land use, and it's quite simple. The more if the more land connected with potential contamination, the higher risk is shown here. So also quite important to know land cover. Land cover. So that's the first step, and it indicators, calculations, and the results. But we've got another tab that let us visualize and benchmark, compare some results. We can also choose some spas, for example, Poland, Niemczech, from Virginia, that, and yeah, but so as you see, the same thing, the basic data for the chosen spas, the basic results, Niemczech, Czeskie, Toplice i and at the results on the charts. So here we've got current capacity of these 5 main indicators for us, and here is just our database, and the database is the text tab. Just the database, all the spas sizing. As you see, there are some gaps because there were available for countries. Most of the data is taken from office. Some are taken local sources, partners. As you see, it was able to all the database with data for all of us. So another 2 tabs is groundwater vulnerability algorithm, just for calculations, and land cover database, calculate index level. That is the tool in Excel form, but there are some works tool. I will shortly show you like. Yeah, is it visible on the web page?
Yes, it's okay. We can see it.
So it will be like that. So this calculations data will be connected with map, just to make this simple. Show the visualization and are we talking about? Here you have the communes with spas from all countries, partner countries, and got the basic information and the results showing just the same like in Excel tool version. It's still under development, so we assume that it's possible to change for the temporary change the some basic data, update the calculations, because we are aware that data are changing quite fast and be able to update it. So this online tool will give us a chance to correct this basic data, and it works the same. So you can choose the country and a spa and see the data and the results, and what is and we've got also the results. So it's the first spa, the second spa, and the third spa, and here we've got chart the results. What is interesting, we can add to the comparison, just simply click, and this the results will be charts. As I said, it's still under development, but next days it will be finished, and that's that.
Okay, thank you very much, Pavel. There were a little interruption, but I hope that everyone gets this whole information which Pavel said. As you see, it's another tool which is the results of the project. Probably the best results, maybe the largest results of this project will be the data which we collected in the whole project, because all of partners were really involved in this process. So we have so many databases that probably we published only a small part of this. Hello, Eva. Thank you that you join us because your presentation will be next. So just on the time, we are a little bit before the scope. So thank you once more. I will. Do you want to present by yourself, or should I present? I can also present from my computer. I have your slides.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you for giving me the floor. I think you can start like a presentation through your channel, and then I present.
Okay, I'm prepared for this. That's your presentation. I will change your slides. If you will just call me next, I will do this. So please, floor is yours. And the third tool of our project, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm Eva Canavarolo. I represent the Upper Adriatic Technology Park located in Pordenone in Friuli-Venezia Giulia region. And now I'm going to present the tool, the main tool that we work on during all the implementation phase of the project. So this common tool for integrated assessment and trees and pressures, and we have been in charge of elaborating an application. And as you can see from this slide, our main focus, territorial focus, was within this Euganian thermal area. And this thermal area is the largest and the widest of the entire Europe. Is located in the sub-region of Padua, in Veneto region. As you can see, there are many pinpoints located in the map, and within this thermal basin, there are approximately 16 municipalities, thermal municipalities, working and exploiting through specific concession and specific wells disposal and availabilities within the territory in regards of the thermal natural resource. This area is part also as a protected area within the thermal regional park of Colli Euganei, so Euganian Hills. If you can go next to the next slide, thank you. So as partner and as well as for the other associated partners that work with us, Bioce and all the municipalities and the other territorial entities, private and public bodies that work with us, we work into a work package in which the main aim, the main scope was innovating all the existing monitoring and water sustainable management practices. In fact, in this area, there were many monitoring system already able to capture and to get data, information from like the exploitation and the usage of the thermal resource, the thermal natural resource. But we thought it was interesting also together and in strong collaboration with the local authorities and local stakeholder to renovate this process and this system, giving an automatic system. So through an application, through our software, you can move on to the other slide, please. So our main deliverables were the application for managing the thermal water resource and environmental sustainability preparation. In this specific tool, we were in charge of analyzing and trying to adapting all the local condition existing in the area, in thermal area, with the data and the collection of data that was and is already in charge and in responsibility of a specific entity, in this case, a regional entity. So we look and analyze the state of play, and then we try to renovate a little bit the process. So we came into an application, and we also elaborate a manual for the user, the upper users. And the structure of the application is basically, if you can go to the next slide, please. So this slide explain you how the application work and the main functionality. So it's possible with this application inserting new data and punctual consumption, water consumption data of spa owners. So all the hotel owners can, through this application, entering autonomously their data, and also is possible as consulting tool. So it's possible to see how many beds numbers, so the bed numbers used monthly and annually, and all the characteristics on the biodiversity, geologic landscape in the Euganian thermal basin. And lastly, it's possible to monitor data acquisition within different variabilities. So the application collects, aggregates, and shows to the user the data as chart and graph. This application is possible to be used by the technicians, for example, the people that work in the spa wellness centers, and also by policymakers and local authorities, in terms that they want to integrate a little bit the information into the application. So probably this process will be run out much deeper after the life of the project, since we are at the very last point. This tool is adapted for iOS and Android, and yes, this tool is also has been made for increasing a little bit the awareness for tourists and locals about the importance of thermal waters management, because they can look at the real and concrete data on thermal water usability monthly. If you can go to the next slide, please. Yes, so the application has been tested and implemented through the within the different territories. If you can move on to the next slide, please. As I said, the application is included and integrated by a manual for the users, the final users, in order to give them the possibility to look at the specific models and how they can use it properly, and how can also they can integrate and add any information that they have at their disposal. Regarding also the type of entity in which they are working on. So the application is as much as interactive as possible, in order to give to the users also a friendly structure and a user-friendly understandability of how to use this tool. If you can go to the next slide. This is the usability structure. So as I said and I mentioned before, for all the different kind of data that we have and we collect and we analyze, there are many users and responsible entity who they can enter and insert the data in the application. For example, for the water consumption, the spa owners, and the well levels, there is this entity, this public entity called ARPAV, and which will insert all the data in agreement with UBIOCE, who is the associated partner of the project, and all the other entities will have different usability advantage in integrating everything they know about the thermal natural resource. If you can go to the next slide, please. This is a structure. So the application work with specific sensors, and we elaborate a database which is already at the disposal of ARPAV. With this data, we create the API, so the WebSocket, in which we can, so the database can talk with the database of the application, and then we elaborate the final tool. And I need to admit that within the process, so between the database of ARPAV and the database of application, it has been a little bit tough to understand really properly how to translate each data in IPA, but then we conclude this part, and so the process and the procedure has been very long lasting, but we made it. Can you skip to the next slide, please? Yes, all the data and insertion and the main parameters. So we have different variabilities in the information that we can insert in the application. So about the characteristic on the water quality, the biodiversity, the water quantity. For example, for the water quality, we have a Gubioce responsible partner. All the concessions representative, so the spa owners, have to insert the data and information that they have regarding the water quantity and the beds, the occupied beds, the number, and the level of the wells as an information is in charge of ARPAV. Can you move to the next slide, please? This is again the hierarchical, if I can say like that, of all the data insertion and usability with all the entity that we involved during the project implementation. So also at regional basis, so the Veneto region, Gubioce has ARPAV, Termecol marketing in the process of promoting the application, and with some of them we agree. So we sign specific local agreement in order to give them the real and proper responsibilities in the afterlife and a great sustainability of the tool. Can you move to the next slide, please? Yes, so we involve all the different target groups, mainly what I mentioned before. So we work with the municipality. So Gubioce is within his network. He represent many municipality, terminal municipalities. So in this sense, it has been a kind of easy to work with the municipalities and the local authorities. Because we had the chance to have the direct contact with them. Can you move to the next slide? Thank you. As I said, we sign many local agreements with different entities, also because the application is connected in many parts with the virtual realities. In the informative parts. So we got from the territories and from the specific entities, for example, the Department of Archaeology in the University of Padua, we understood that probably they had already something relating to the thermal promotional, so some promotional materials on the historical, the first historical phase, as like in the Roman area, in the Roman era, and we got in contact with them, and we got some materials, and then we elaborate the immersive reality. And as well as we insert some context and materials in the application as well. Can you move to the next slide, please? Yes, so mainly in the work package 2.1, we work in a unique tool. We analyze, first of all, as I said, the existing data and existing monitoring system in regards of the thermal resource, and then we try to elaborate a software able to give probably much more organized and structured view of the data at our disposal. Well, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that everything was clear and enough explained. If you have something to ask, I'm here available for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eva. That was the last presentation for today. Maybe first I will comment a little bit how the results. I have this possibility to have the floor for me, so I give for me. As you see, I hope that it's quite good improved, that tools, IT tools and database policy is useful, and I think that the whole partnership improved also that we have a lot of challenges in European countries related with resource development, resource municipalities development, but also with hydrogeology. As you saw in these cases, we train this, we're trying to train everything in a live body, we can say. So we improve it in pilot actions that it's manageable, that we can afford good results of using the IT tools for better management. Maybe we will go to the sustainability, which is the main goal of this project. So the sustainability between underground and we can say land management and development. As you saw, also the mass tourism is also one of the biggest awareness in the whole countries, but of course it's also necessary to catch it together and to use the potential of these beautiful places also for the tourism. So thank you for attention. If everyone want to say something, some comments or question, please feel free. I can't hear, so thank you very much for the whole speakers. It was nice to see you because we finished the project, so probably as we were tired for the meetings, now we will a little bit missed. I'm starting a little bit, but in 1 month probably it will be stronger. I will say I will miss you, yeah, probably. I hope that our tools will be spread for the whole Europe and the whole municipalities and all the people which are involved in implemented the development policies in somehow. So I hope that also our spa resources will be saved and as much beautiful as we saw during the projects for the next generations also. Wow, big words for the end, sorry. Thank you very much, everyone. I stop recording and wish you a good day.
Bye-bye.
Good day.